Hey everyone, it's Caroline. Today we're taking a deep dive into the Eagle Talon. Now the Eagle Talon might not be the first car that comes to mind when you think sporty coupe, but trust me, this quirky little car has a lot to offer. Produced in the early to mid 1990s, the Talon was part of a collaborative effort between Chrysler and Mitsubishi. In this video, we'll explore all its quirks and features, from its turbocharged engine options to its surprisingly spacious interior. Buckle up, because we're about to uncover all the details that make the Eagle Talon a hidden gem in the automotive world. All right, let's talk tech, or rather, what passed for tech in the early 90s. The Eagle Talon's infotainment system is, well, very true to its era. Don't expect any fancy touchscreens or Apple CarPlay here. You've got your standard AM/FM radio, and if you're lucky, you might find one with a cassette player. Remember those? And for those who really want to crank up the tunes, some models even came with a CD player, which was a pretty big deal back then. But hey, let's cut the Talon some slack. This was a time when car phones were the size of bricks and having power windows felt revolutionary. The simplicity of the infotainment system actually adds to the car's charm. It's a refreshing break from the overly complicated systems we see in modern cars. Plus, it gives you a chance to appreciate the simple things, like the tactile feel of tuning a radio dial or the satisfying click of a cassette tape being inserted. It's a true blast from the past. Stepping inside the Eagle Talon, you might be surprised by how spacious it feels, especially for a coupe. The front seats offer decent headroom and legroom, even for taller drivers. And while the back seats are a bit more snug, they're surprisingly usable for shorter trips. You won't be fitting any basketball teams back there, but it's definitely workable for a couple of friends or some groceries. One thing that stands out about the Talon's interior is its driver-focused design. The center console is angled towards the driver, putting all the controls within easy reach. The seats themselves are surprisingly supportive too, especially in the TSI models, which came with optional sport seats that offer more bolstering for spirited driving. Overall, the Talon's interior is a pleasant place to be, with a functional layout and just enough 90s charm to make you smile. Now let's get to the heart of the Eagle Talon, its engine. While base models came with a somewhat pedestrian four-cylinder, the real star of the show was the turbocharged 2.0-liter four-cylinder found in the TSI models. This little powerhouse churned out a respectable 190 horsepower, which was pretty impressive for its time. But it wasn't just about raw power. The turbocharged engine delivered a healthy dose of torque, giving the Talon a peppy feel both off the line and in the mid-range. Paired with a slick-shifting 5-speed manual transmission, the Talon TSI was a blast to drive, offering a level of performance that belied its unassuming appearance. And for those who prefer a more relaxed driving experience, a 4-speed automatic transmission was also available. With its turbocharged engine and lightweight design, the Eagle Talon TSI was no slouch when it came to performance. It could sprint from 0 to 60 mph in around 6.5 seconds, which was enough to keep up with, or even outrun, some of the sportier cars of its day. And while its top speed was electronically limited to 140 mph, the Talon felt stable and planted even at higher speeds. The combination of its responsive handling, sharp steering, and capable braking system gave drivers the confidence to push the car to its limits. Whether you were carving up canyon roads or just enjoying a spirited drive on a back road, the Eagle Talon delivered a thrilling driving experience that few cars in its class could match. Now, you might think that a car with the Eagle Talon's performance potential would be a gas guzzler, but surprisingly the Talon was relatively fuel efficient, especially when driven with a light foot. The turbocharged engine, while capable of delivering exhilarating performance, could also be surprisingly frugal when driven conservatively. On average, the Talon TSI could achieve around 23 miles per gallon in combined city and highway driving, which wasn't bad for a sporty coupe of its era. Of course, if you were constantly dipping into the turbocharger's boost, your fuel economy would take a hit. But for those who could resist the temptation to put the pedal to the metal at every opportunity, the Talon offered a good balance of performance and efficiency. While the Eagle Talon's turbocharged engine certainly got a lot of attention, it was the car's overall performance that truly impressed. The Talon handled exceptionally well, thanks to its well-tuned suspension and responsive steering. It felt nimble and agile through corners, inspiring confidence in drivers of all skill levels. The brakes were equally impressive, providing strong and predictable stopping power. And whether you opted for the front-wheel drive or all-wheel drive model, the Talon offered plenty of grip, even in challenging driving conditions. Overall, the Eagle Talon was a well-rounded performer that excelled not just in a straight line, but also when the road started to twist and turn. Like any car from the 1990s, the Eagle Talon requires regular maintenance to keep it running smoothly. Fortunately, the Talon was a relatively reliable car, especially when compared to some of its more complex contemporaries. Regular oil changes, tune-ups, and fluid checks will go a long way in ensuring the longevity of your Talon. However, being a product of its time, some parts may be harder to come by than they once were. It's not uncommon to encounter worn bushings, aging gaskets, or electrical gremlins, especially in older, higher mileage examples. But hey, that's part of the charm of owning a classic, right? The good news is that there's a dedicated community of Eagle Talon enthusiasts out there who are always willing to share their knowledge and help keep these cars on the road. One of the best things about the Eagle Talon is its affordability. Because it's not as sought after as some other 90s sports cars, you can often find a well-maintained example for a reasonable price. Of course, prices can vary depending on condition, mileage, and whether the car has any modifications. But generally speaking, you can expect to pay anywhere from a few $1,000s for a higher mileage base model to upwards of $10,000 for a pristine TSI model with low miles. Considering the performance and driving enjoyment the Eagle Talon offers, it represents a fantastic value for money. It's a great option for anyone looking for an affordable and fun-to-drive sports coupe that's sure to turn heads wherever you go. So there you have it, a deep dive into the Eagle Talon. It's a car that often gets overlooked, but as we've seen, it has a lot to offer. From its peppy turbocharged engine and surprisingly spacious interior to its affordable price tag, the Talon is a hidden gem that's just waiting to be rediscovered. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video if you enjoyed our in-depth look at the Eagle Talon. Let me know in the comments below if you have any Eagle Talon stories, or if you've ever owned one of these awesome cars. Thanks for watching.